edition covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I'm Chief Meteorologist Janessa Webb, tracking a few storms still across Prince George's County, areas of Montgomery County as well. High pressure, though, is going to move in for your Wednesday. I have your extended forecast coming up.
And traffic cameras on school buses, a new solution to dangers around drivers speeding past school bus stop signs.
And making a splash, but is it safe? Why advocates say a quick swim in the river is just fine.
Good evening, and thank you so much for joining us for DC News Now at 9. I'm Thasmeen Mahfouz.
Hi, everybody. I'm Chris Flanagan. All right, it's been a busy day of pop-up storms out there. Still a few out there at this hour. Let's get a first check on the forecast with our chief meteorologist, Janessa Webb.
Yeah, Janessa, we got good news. The sunshine returns tomorrow.
Yeah, it's going to move in fairly quickly here. We do have air quality concerns going into tomorrow afternoon, so that sunshine is going to be limited, but finally going to be dealing with dry skies. Right now, we do have a little bit of civil twilight that is happening across the region as the sun starts to go down. That's what civil twilight is, and so you're starting to notice kind of that cotton candy sky. This is the leftovers of what storms bring us across many regions of the DMV. High pressure builds in, and then you get some wonderful sunsets. Right now, temperatures 71 degrees. If you've been outside, you're starting to notice humidity levels. They are trickling downward, and so they have been very high the last couple of days. And so now, since the front has crossed our region, we're going to get some more refreshing air in place. Hey, I've gotten video on Twitter, social media. I really appreciate it from folks in Prince George's County here, where they're dealing still with some stormy activity all the way up towards areas of Columbia and the Baltimore area. Let's talk about Upper Marlboro, just exiting the Bowie area. Really now this is a light to scattered rain, and it will continue its track. Instead of offshore towards the east, it's going to go south and east. So Culver County, St. Mary's, you're up next here, and that's why you're dealing with a few lightning strikes across the Tidal Basin area. Nothing on the severe side, but that's a good moderate soaking rain that continues to make its way through. Here's my front here. That's allowing things for starting to cool down. Still needs some time here in the district for things to feel a little bit better, and it will be very noticeable as we go into tomorrow. Hey, let's talk more about this sunshine coming up.
Janessa, thank you. And the controversy continues in Montgomery County over books featuring LGBTQ storylines.
Yeah, several religious groups want the Board of Education to restore an opt-out option for parents. Today, hundreds protested outside of district headquarters. Our Daniel Hamburg talked to people on both sides of this issue.
Yeah, and Daniel, the school district has no plans to change its policy.
Tasmeen and Chris, that's what's frustrating so many parents here today who voiced their opinion yet again. About 20 people spoke during the public comment period of the meeting, which was limited by MCPS due to safety reasons, but the board itself did not discuss the issue.
Let our voices be heard!
Hundreds of people protested before and during the Montgomery County School Board meeting.
The Board of Education is not willing to discuss about it or to see our requests.
The issue is LGBTQ-themed books in the curriculum, such as Uncle Bobby's Wedding and My Rainbow, books some parents say go against their religious beliefs.
We're asking that our children not be strong-armed at such a young age into believing certain ideas about gender and sexuality, or that the school system insist on turning our children against the religious values that we hold.
Allies of the LGBTQ community also showed up to support current policy.
Our kids live in this beautiful, diverse, multicultural community, and the storybooks that they read in their English language curriculum should reflect that.
A federal lawsuit against MCPS was filed by 3 families last month to be able to opt their children out of reading these books.
I urge you not to allow an opt-out policy, recognizing the significance of an inclusive educational environment that embraces diversity and fosters acceptance is crucial.
MCPS says students and families may not choose to opt out of engaging with any instructional materials other than Family Life and Human Sexuality Unit of Instruction, which is specifically permitted by Maryland law. Now, MCPS says it expects teachers will include these inclusive books into their classrooms. They say parents will not be sent any letters notifying them of when these books will be read. The protesters here today tell me they'll be at every single board meeting until they feel their voices are heard. We're live in Rockville, Maryland. Daniel Hamburg, DC News Now.
All right, staying in our schools in Virginia, traffic cameras are coming to Fairfax County school buses.
Yeah, elected officials have pushed for this for over a decade. Our Haley Mylon is in Chantilly with more.
50 school buses will be outfitted with traffic cameras on various routes throughout Fairfax County, and police tell me that they think these extra sets of eyes out on the roads will tamp down on reckless driving around students.
You don't want anybody's child to be hurt.
Debbie Kashansky drops off her grandson at elementary school in Centerville, and she sees drivers disregard bus stop signs all the time.
So we're watching all the time, those of us, the mothers and grandmas that are there.
A new solution coming to 50 school buses in the district in spring of 2024.
Going to try to deter the person, maybe put their phone down.
Lieutenant Harold Morris oversees the Fairfax Police Traffic Safety Services. If a camera captures someone running a bus stop sign, the camera vendor, Vera Mobility, will validate the footage and send it to Morris's team. A police officer will then review the case and issue a citation if warranted. If you get caught, you'll be mailed a notice with a link to review a 5-second video clip of the violation and a link to pay the $250 fine. A long time coming for Board Chairman Jeffrey McKay and Drainsville District Supervisor John Faust.
I listened to the bus drivers honking at the cars passing, which is literally about all they can do about it.
Faust has pushed for the camera since 2011 when the technology became legal.
I see it all the time. People driving through the bus stop, flashing lights.
Since deploying speed cameras in August of 2022, school zones have seen a 33% reduction in speeding. Those are the kind of results that community members want to see here.
If you don't see it, you kind of become aware that maybe I need to be careful.
Although citations will be sent to the address associated with the car's tags, the driver, not the car owner, will be charged. In Chantilly, I'm Haley Mylon, DC News Now.
And developing tonight, a retired Maryland police chief will spend the rest of his life in prison for 12 arsons over 2 decades targeting enemies. David Crawford led Laurel's police department before resigning in 2010. Earlier this year, Crawford was found guilty in 8 counts of attempted murder, among other charges. The attempted murder charges stem from multiple house fires. Crawford initially set targeting victims he or his wife knew and had previous disagreements with. Crawford was sentenced to 2 life sentences and an additional 75 years in prison. Well, it is your chance to be part of history, but the question is, would you take it? A week from Saturday, swimmers can make a splash in DC's Anacostia River.
Yeah, and get this, it's the first time that swimming will be allowed in more than 50 years. Yeah, Marion Carbone is at the river right near Kingman Island where people will brave the water. She explains how improvements to water quality are making this all possible.
It's been illegal to swim in district waters like the Anacostia River since 1971 because of high bacteria levels from sewage overflows. Now, the group Anacostia River Keepers says that things have gotten a lot better and safer since then, but those we spoke to say they're not ready to make a splash just yet. On a hot day like today, a swim might be just what you need to cool off. But would you do it here in the Anacostia River?
I particularly wouldn't feel safe.
I would not go swimming in this river.
Personally, I would not. It doesn't look clean. It doesn't look even drinkable.
People will be making a splash July 8th as the nonprofit group Anacostia River Keeper hosts the first sanctioned swim in the river in more than 50 years. The water has been closed to swimmers since the 70s because of sewage concerns. But over the years, the group says infrastructure improvements have reduced sewage overflow levels by 80%. And in 2022, bacteria levels passed recreational standards at Kingman Island, Buzzards Point, and Washington Channel 90% of the time.
If it gets on my face, I wipe it off immediately.
Michael Frazier, who kayaks in the river, isn't buying it. He says it would take a lot for him to actually get in the water.
I think if I can look into the bottom and it got 100% clean and I see other people in there and I see the mayor in there swimming.
It's a no for you.
Absolute no.
It's been a work in progress, but it's still progress.
Raphael Bonhomme does believe the water has gotten better, but he doesn't feel it's ready to get in just yet.
It's not going to be swimmable where people want to jump in until like the next 100 years.
Now, it is illegal still to swim in the Anacostia River unless it is a sanctioned and permanent event like Splash here on July 8th. And as a reminder, you do need to be 18 years or older. You must register, and you can only swim during that time slot that you're actually allotted. Reporting from the Anacostia River tonight, I'm Marielle Carbone, DC News Now.